Alright, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Saas route on the path to wealth. A Saas is basically making a digital product where you can rent out to people and make a monthly income, and that product solves their problems. What do you think about the Saas route on a path to wealth?
I think it's a pretty decent route. I mostly feel like I feel like it's a bit of an American endeavor. I feel like it's a lot of that Silicon Valley, wanting to be the next Bill Gates, wanting to be the next tech G. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit of a delusional path in a way.
Yeah, I feel like a SaaS product is like that initiative, create a brand new product that's never been made before, that solves a problem that's never been solved before, which is like impossible nowadays, especially with the use of AI. But on smaller, scalable products, because there's small SaaS products out there that are quite decent, and all you have to do is be in the top 25% of earners, to be honest, to have a good living. So maybe it's more flexible for the average person than we think.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely great in that aspect, and just the fact that you're able to own something, because it's not you can't really own much nowadays because of inflation and stuff. So just being able to easily own something and practice your way to something with like barely any consequence for it. It's pretty good in that aspect, I'd say.
Yeah, because when people make businesses, it's very like time consuming. They lose a lot of money. A lot of things happen. But with a SaaS product, it's literally an easy barrier of entry, and you can try and try and try and fail as many times as possible until you find the product that works for you and lands with your values as a company.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts about doing a SaaS is the idea that it doesn't success doesn't really depend too much on raw ability, like as much as it does like good problem solving, a good understanding of your tech stack, and a well chosen skill stack. Um, it's like a tech stack is like all the platforms and tools you use to build your business, and a skill stack is like a complementary skills that work well together. And just being able to just focus on that is like way easier than say like feeling regret because you didn't start when you were like 7 years old, you know?
Yeah, a lot of it is like a learn as you go, and it's not that very like hard, inept fucking vision of where you have to do everything meticulously, and if you didn't start, like you said, when you was a kid, you've got no chance of like
Y-
becoming like this big prodigy.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I feel like a lot of paths are out to show them that way, where it's like they say everyone can do it, but really it's like, did you start when you were like 9? Can you? That's the only people who can do it.
Yeah, like nepotism. Does your family own or like your parents own a business that they could pass down that information to you, sort of thing. That's why SaaS is a
Yeah,
good product because, like I said before, it's a easy entry of a barrier of entry, and you could just start whenever. Obviously, it's a bit easier when it comes to like tech students and computer scientists because they have that like little bit of an advantage when it comes to using software, but it's still quite accessible to the average person. What do you think?
I don't think it's a little bit of advantage. I think it's a massive advantage. I think the fact that we're in this space, the fact that we're networked with people who are also doing similar things, I feel I feel like if you're a non-tech person trying to choose a SaaS route, I feel like you're at a disadvantage, to be honest, because there's going to be a lot of tech information that will be overwhelming. My sort of advice would be to work, do a project and work with a computer science person while you're fulfilling, the completion of the platform.
Yeah, it's definitely a big advantage for computer scientists because for my coursework, for my course as a software engineering, we already need to be doing projects to get land internships and graduate job roles. And that project could turn into a SaaS product if it's initiative and good enough. Same with the hackathons that my university holds. Some hackathons have went on to make money and become a startup for students in the future. So yeah, there's a bit of an advantage in that point, but I feel like if the average person puts enough time and energy into it, they could easily learn and create their own project. That's as good as a computer science student. I feel like the one thing as well, like normal average people might not even like hear of Saas or even like know of it. So that's where it's a bit of a disadvantage as well.
Yeah. Where it is it an advantage, is because is what a lot of like problem solving is like knowing other spaces and other fields and stuff. And a lot of computer scientists we tend to tunnel vision on the problem solving on a computer, problem solving on how to make being on a computer more convenient. But in terms of what actually like people need help with, is normally like construction workers, normally like nurses who need a SaaS product, is normally like all them kind of people. And tech people kind of tend to neglect them a lot of the times. So that's where like people outside of the field can really, you know, chip in and, you know,
Yeah.
understand a wider picture to problem solve better, to make a better SaaS product.
Yeah, because someone that's not in the computer science or tech field can, and let's say they work a normal construction job, they can find issues in their own job where they're like, this is annoying. How can I
Yeah,
fix this? How can I problem solve this? How could I make this easier for me and my other colleagues? And that's where they have that edge where they can solve a problem in workspaces that you wouldn't really find in like a computer scientist, because all they're doing is, like you said, they have a tunnel vision of just work coding, and all of the
yeah,
SaaS products for that already has already been used with AI. So there's
pretty
not really
much.
much um, creativity there.
No. The main challenges are of this route are like consistent changes in the marketplace, medium to high levels of risk, and the need to build a decent quality software, as well as managing the time along with university and a full-time job.
Yeah, the constant changes in the marketplace is a big one, because learning marketing and how to market your product is like a huge thing, probably the most important thing when it comes to a SaaS product, because if nobody knows about your product, then how can you even imagine to sell it? So
Yeah,
understanding the marketplace is a huge
yeah. A lot of computer science students fall into the trap of like seeing themselves as above marketing, thinking like, oh, because I'm an introvert, it's like I don't really have to care about this kind of stuff, and that's where it goes to shit for them. They just poured all their energy into this product. They mid max everything, every technical aspect, make the perfect front page, and then they at the end it's just like some dead piece of gigabytes on their computer that no one wants. It's just like that's how a lot of startup dies. So yeah, the point is definitely valid.
yeah. Another one is the need to build decent quality software. A SaaS product needs to be, like you said before at the very start, you do have to be a little bit like Bill Gates and then people there, because your quality of product has to be good, because there's probably another product just like yours. So you have to
Yeah,
show how different yours is and how much better yours is.
yeah,
So yeah, I feel like obviously when you start, the product doesn't have to be the best because you're just learning. But as you go on, you obviously want your product to evolve and become a product that corporations can use or people of the masses can use. Because at the end of the day, they're paying for a product to solve their problems, and if it doesn't really solve their problems or doesn't solve it well enough, they will just
yeah.
move on to the next product.
Yes, yeah. Especially like older people, they really don't care about like, oh my God, I get to use this extra feature though, so that means I'm gonna stick with it. Like if the main reason why you build the platform is they're having troubles with it, they like it lacks clarity or whatever, they're just gonna move on like dead quick.
Mm. That another product of managing time alongside university or a full time job. I feel like once people get comfortable enough with university or like a full time job, their time and motivation to make a business or like a project is like slowly diminishes. That's why you have to
Definitely.
start as early as possible and just start as
Yeah.
quickly as possible.
So they can get comfortable with this and university at the same time, so
Yeah,
it's not uncomfortable to switch while doing university.
yeah. And I feel like once you do it long enough, you'll learn to love making products and failing.
Yeah,
So I feel like once you build that habit, especially before you get comfortable with like a full time job, that would really help.
true. One thing that gets underestimated is that I think you need a good solid team and a network of people you can rely on for, especially for like big ideas. Like say if you have like a massive ambition, A lot of people tend to focus inwards a lot of the time on their personal brilliance or on their strengths and weaknesses, and they kind of start they neglect like what it means to be compatible with someone, what it means to have like good chemistry, what it means to have, you know, good different cognitive styles that cover each other's weaknesses. And because of this, their project takes forever. It takes forever. They don't have fun with it. They can burn out easy. And with this, to add on, I personally agree. I feel like having a good co-founder is like something that like you just can't skip on. You have to try and have a good co-founder, someone who's just as passionate about creating a SaaS as you are, someone who puts in as much work as you do, and someone who challenges you every step of the way, and you both evolve together. I feel like that's probably another principal aspect of what it means to have a good SaaS.
Yeah, I feel like people forget how having another person keeping them accountable, how important that is. Because it doesn't always because when you make your own product, you're basically your own manager. You can get to pick the hours you work. You get to pick. Some people just don't have the discipline to say, I'm gonna stick to this for hours. And the end of the day, their product just slowly dies, or you slowly lose motivation, and you just slowly don't have the motivation to just look for answers whenever you get stuck. So that's one thing a co-founder can do as well: keep you accountable and make you want to work harder for your product. Because when
Yeah.
you see someone just as passionate as you are, it gives you that extra boost of motivation as well.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the company is not looking too good and you just want someone to vent to, someone who can actually understand your situation because they're doing it with you.
Yeah, maybe when you get a bit stuck and you get like a bit frustrated, maybe they'll say like, step away for a bit, I'll take care of it, and then come back when you're ready, sort of
Yeah.
thing. And
Instead of
that just
having this like Andrew Tate mindset where you're gonna just grind that will just burn out
yeah,
quickly. So
I feel like people forget how bad burnout is when you stick for something for so long and you don't really get any results and you put a lot of time and effort into it. It's not the burnout isn't because of the short term, like I'm just gonna stop doing this. It's when you have future projects that you want to do and you remember the past burnouts that you did. It just completely stops your motivation for like future projects, even if you do, even if you are like excited about them.
yeah. I think accountability is huge though. Like I like the way you pointed that out. I feel like a lot of people they don't have accountability in their projects because they do have all that control and they don't realize like all that control means you have way more responsibilities and you have to be more precise and particular.
Yeah, I feel like people forget like when they have a job and they like quit their job to start their business. I feel like they forget they have to work twice the amount of time they did when they had that job. Just because you have a business and you get to pick your own hours doesn't mean you get to slack off and work less. You have to work
Yeah,
so much harder.
true.
There's one thing I want to talk about the about you said about the marketing aspect of it and how computer
Yeah.
science kids don't really understand the networking and the marketing side of it, and that's really like the bottleneck to their success. Why do you think marketing is such a core skill?
I think marketing is such a core skill because it's like very fundamental. If someone can't see your product, someone can't even try it out, someone can't even like have an opinion on your product, then it's invisible.
It basically
There's
doesn't
no
exist. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't it's might as well you might as well not have ever made it in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like people forget like marketing is a huge role in everybody's life because every day you're marketing yourself. Let's say you have an
Yeah,
Instagram page that's aesthetic. You're marketing yourself to people out there to follow you, to have like a image of you when you post and stuff like that. Or like maybe when you go to a job interview, you have to market yourself. You have to sell yourself. Marketing is a huge role, whether you like it or not, and it's a core skill that everyone has to learn.
yeah. Everyone no, I think you only have to learn it if you want to do this. If you get a job, you don't think. I think obviously being a bit charismatic, not being a weirdo is pretty good, but um I think marketing's a SaaS thing.
Yeah.
But everyone should have a good idea of marketing, that's for sure. Everyone should know how to do a good pitch,
Mm.
even to their friends. I think it's that's important.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
this is going to be our last episode or different paths to wealth. There's a lot more other paths we could talk about. One of my friend is he goes around flipping houses. What that is where you get a loan from a bank. You you go into the house, but from buying a house with a loan from the bank, and then you renovate everything so it looks way better, and then you resell it for a little bit extra profit. But in the back in the days, it used to be a lot of extra profit, and a lot of people got rich from it back in the days. So I've heard from friends of friends. So that point is just like to say that there's a lot of different ways to get rich. The paths we've covered aren't the only paths. You can find a cajillion other paths out there.
Yeah, like this person on TikTok said, there's a million ways to make $1 million, which is true. You just have to learn a high value skill that aligns with you, play to your strengths, and just like never give up in a cliche way, because as soon as you give up, then you've basically lost. You can never
Yeah,
lose if you keep trying.
yeah, true that.